Let's see. Oh, it looks like somebody's here already. What's going on? Hold up. Not you right on time. I'm just doing my usual doing a quick post on the gram so people know. But welcome to the Yungfleur Life Space. If someone's actually factually here. Let them know we on. What is up? What is up? Welcome to the Yungfleur Life Space. It is a good old Thursday evening, and we are here doing the thing like I said I would. How is it going? How's it going? Okay, yes. Somebody's in the room. I see the thumbs up happening. Thank you. I'm guessing, is this Morgan? Because I know you're usually on your TV. So I'm guessing this may be Morgan. Or maybe not. Oh, maybe. Let me check. Because normally I can see participants, right? I can't see. So maybe it's someone else. Either way, welcome to the space. Tonight, I wanted to talk about just one quick topic. Of course, if you've been looking on my Instagram stories, then you probably have an idea. You probably have an idea of what is coming. Um, ugh, my do-rag is doing crazy things. Oh, see, I knew it. I knew it. Happy Thursday. Welcome to you. How are you? Why is it not? It's always a weird thing when I want to copy and paste the link here. I don't know why it does that. But anyway, how are you feeling? How's it going? Today, I'm very much in my my little my Zen stage or whatever. Like I'm real maxed and relaxed. I was out earlier apartment hunting a little bit. Today's normally like my day off from work, which is why I go live on Thursdays as one of the designated days in addition to Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But you knew this. My forehead looks crazy. But yeah, I was just looking at apartments today, taking some time to get into the latest fashion news, of course. But it's been good vibes. Like I feel like I've been spending, I feel like Morgan, you were there for my earlier lives, and I don't know who the second person is that joined in, but thanks for joining. Welcome to the Yungfleur Live Space, and please give your boy a thumbs up, okay? But what I was saying, during one of my lives, like towards the end of last year, I was just like, just in a place where I feel like I need a lot more time alone, and like life is just showing me that and pushing me in that direction. It's me on my phone, so I can't text. No worries. Okay, cute. Shout out to that. I'm not mad at the extra view. I am not mad at the running up of the numbers, okay? But yeah, I've been spending a lot of time to myself lately. Um and it's been good. It's been good. I feel like my brain is like recalibrating and getting back to like my own element just away from the noise. And I feel like excuse me, I've been having some success in the past like month or so with really just being on a whole other wave that I'm enjoying. But aside from that, the older I get, the more I've understood you have to actually do something. You have to actually do something to unwind. Yeah, yeah. Like it's not really. It's like you can't just like wait for the relaxation to come to you. Like you also have to like aggressively actively go out and claim that relaxation and make it a practice for yourself. It's not something that just like comes along. But yeah, like it's just I feel like I've just been in my own realm of influence, and that's what's been really necessary for me in the past like year. So it's just being getting back to a place where like my voice is the first and the main one that I'm hearing. And also, like, nothing wrong with being in a little bit of an echo chamber for a minute, just so that we're once again recalibrated to what like it's giving in the main frame, before you like interact. Like, what do I stand on? What are my boundaries? What are my likes and dislikes? Like, all those kind of things. And it's been good. It's been good. Like, it's been so good. Like, really just like everything. And I'm just like glad the way things fell the way they did, whether it's like with relationships with people or other situations and the way they've kind of come together or fallen apart. Like it all is for the better good, right? But I'm not here to preach. You know, it gets real sermony up in here, but I am stepping off the pulpit, or maybe I'm stepping back on. Maybe I'm stepping back on so we can talk about the main reason that we're here tonight. And what I wanted to talk about is this recent announcement by the good people at H&M about the digital twin AI model initiative that they have going on right now. What do you think of that? I would love to get your thoughts on that. I'm really curious about what the community has to say about that, and not even just the fact that this is a thing that's happening, but even the approach that they are taking to rolling this out is kind of mm, it's got me feeling some type of way. This is all I got. Say. But yeah, I don't know. Zara did AI ads last summer and it didn't get this sort of backlash. You know, I feel like, first of all, part of it is like, I feel like H&M, I don't know. All I can say is what I feel like we got with this recent press release that's been going around is this strategy from H&M to kind of combat the naysayers before they like pick up their torches and pitchforks, and like kind of jumping the gun before the stampede begins, like being like, we already know you're going to hate it, and like putting that out there. And there's something about, maybe it's the way H&M framed it. Yeah, there's something about that is so corny to me and such a cop out. Hi, welcome to everyone that joined the Yungfleur live space. I'm Yungfleur. We are live. We're talking about fucking robot models, girl. The AI is coming to pack up our favorite girls, whoever that is. But they if you look at the articles that have been going around, it's this general headline that's like, H&M knows. Hi Armida, welcome to the Young Flare Life Space, boo. I'm Young Flare, we are live. Go ahead and give your boy a thumbs up on the live, right on up there. That would be so cute for me. A little thumbs up, thank you very much. But I want to pull up, because I took a couple screenshots. So the article as it appears on the Business of Fashion, and if you look at other publications, it's like other variations of a similar kind of like topic or headline. H&M knows its AI models will be controversial. So they're trying to kind of take things head on by already addressing and addressing, doting on, and kind of like picking up on the fact that the general consensus is that people are not going to be happy about this. And I guess they're hoping that by going ahead and exposing that first, they can kind of convince people to understand that they're trying to do the best that they can do to solve the issue, and that they are 100% they 100% recognize what the consumers drawbacks are with uh what's what the source of consumer apprehension when it comes to implementing AI models into the thing. This was the subheading. The company expects public opinion to be divided on its plan to use digital twins of real models in AI generated imagery. But the best way to protect models' jobs and rights in the age of AI, it says, is to bring them into the process. And I'm like, or I'm like, fashion loves to be so gatekeepy until it doesn't, right? Let me go ahead and get myself in a proper mood. Who else is in the room tonight? Who else is in the room? I know Ermita's here. I know Morgan's here twice. But who else is here? Anyway, um, I'm just like, fashion is so gatekeepy until it's not. This is the one thing that you don't want to combat or hold your standards over. The proper practices and the proper way of conducting things is like everything until it comes to protecting the rights of models and the little people in general, like the people who are their own one person army and have only but so many resources really backing them. Like it's really corny. Never mind the noise, y'all. But they start there, and then let's continue. Um, Here were the bullet points. This is mainly just about all taken from the Business of Fashion's website and their article on this topic. It says the company acknowledges that it doesn't yet know all the impacts this approach will have on models or all the other workers who make fashion imagery possible, such as photographers, stylists, hair and makeup artists, and more. And that's the other part of it. The fact that they would lean so heavily and go so hard about, and this is of course me reading this naively, right? Like reading into this the way that they want us to read into it. Hi, welcome to whoever just joined in on Yungfleur. We are live. We're talking about the AI models. H&M's plan to cast digital twins that are basically AI rendered doppelgangers of real life existing models. So picture if it's not going to be Naomi. Lord knows how long that's going to be. But imagine if Naomi had like her own digital model, like a digital version of herself, literally on some Severance in the Audi shit. And like that other digital model would be available to do campaigns. And as far as what I'm seeing, mostly it's saying campaigns, it's saying photo shoots. They're not really saying anything about catwalks and runways, which, you know, obviously with the fact that that is a live public activity, it is a little bit more of a challenge and not as smooth as just taking photos and editing those. um so my thing is for them to lean so heavily into this quote unquote experimental technology, not aware of the damage that it could cause, very much leaning onto all of the positive hopes and speculation that they have about the technology, which is just like basically every article about new tech these days, or in general, is like trying to get you to be so riled up about the hot new thing. And they already know that the whole AI takeover is not, you know, not genuinely supported, or it genuinely makes people, whether they support it or not, it genuinely brings a sense of discomfort at some point. Um, but either way, I mean, you don't have to work in fashion. You don't have to be some sort of fashion expert, guru, genius to understand that, like, hey, say we're on a photo shoot and there is a hairstylist, makeup artist, a stylist. There's all these other people that are involved with taking care of this human being, because there's you need to do certain things in real life with the human being that all of these people are tasked and paid and hired to do, hopefully on a regular basis. And you mean to tell me, excuse me, you are going to start employing AI models, which we understand at this point, once again, doesn't take a genius to know, a child can understand the concept of the fact that a digital model doesn't need to brush their teeth or take a shower or change their hair, or the processes to do those things aren't as irreparable, as damaging, as long lasting, as immovable, as immutable. It's a lot more altering you can do digitally without the fuss of the human experience. And so the people that are responsible of maintaining that human, which are other humans that are getting hired and paid to do so, suddenly don't really have a purpose here. The hairstylist isn't going to do hair for a digital program. Neither is the makeup artist. All of these other people. And so, you know, I've seen, and I've also been, you know, had an opportunity to be in charge of working on a digitally rendered project where people will come up with things like the styling of it, or a hairstylist or a makeup artist or a designer will still kind of make these decisions. And more so, what's happening there is a transaction of not necessarily the actual handwork, but more so the creative. And if you know, like, hand labor is something that like you can really track and upscale. I mean, and scale up the more that you require it. But once you get creative, once you come up with a design and you don't really, evolve it past that, that's pretty much it. It's pretty much done. And that's usually like a one-shot deal. Like that's the price and that's it. And so this kind of thing becomes very advantageous to fashion companies because they don't have to pay for the perpetuity of things. They don't have to pay to make sure somebody that so many people, all of these people keep their jobs. You know what I mean? But are the real models paid for their likeness? Are the agents also paid for that model? And are they consulting makeup artists and hairstylists preparing mood boards and etc.? So let's talk about that. Great questions, Auntie, and also things that I wanted to discuss as well. And also questions that aren't necessarily answered right now, to make a long story short. But let's take it one by one. And welcome, Auntie. Thanks for joining the Yungfleur live space. I'm Yungfleur. We are live, baby. Thanks for pulling up. Happy Thursday to you and to you all. And thanks to everybody for the thumbs up as well. Anyway, getting into it. Are the real models paid for their likeness? So the understanding is that the contract for this, which was worked out between the models and their agents and H&M, so from what I'm understanding, it was these three entities. The idea is that the model will be paid, the digital model gets paid to work, the model gets paid to work. They're the ones who kind of like loan out their digital twin. So they will, so it's the same, like it's the same thing as a regular in real life casting, except they have to talk to the physical in real life counterpart of that model before they can allow the digital one to do what they have to do. Because obviously the digital one is not thinking for themselves yet. Child, it's a scary world we live in. So I won't put it past them, okay? Because I just feel like this is the thing about technology. It spins into a whole other thing really quickly, even when they know exactly what they have planned. So for them to tell us that they have these technological advancements that they are just forcing through and they're getting people involved and they have no idea where this is going to go, but there are already implications of how devastating this can be, and there haven't been really, from what we've seen, any solutions or any systems put in place to try to work around that. Let's talk about it. Second question, are the agents also paid for that model? The idea, I believe, is that the agents do take a cut. This is literally operating in the same way that an in real life casting would work. So just picture this being the same as an in real life casting, except the only other factor or the only other variable that you add is that this conversation is happening around that model's digital likeness. So that model is still talking with the agent's still talking with whatever agency or whatever company, and they're all talking about the AI model going and doing the job under, in representation of the real model. So the idea is that they do get a cut because that is still their talent. And are they consulting makeup artists and hairstylists preparing mood boards and etc.? As I've mentioned, if you look at, past public, I think, the first one that pops in my mind is V Magazine when they did the 3D rendering of Doja and they had Patty Wilson styling that. There have been so many instances of like legitimate quote unquote high fashion editorials that are done digitally and incorporate AI in some of their digital tools to create things that don't exist. And uh they have they have definitely in the past brought on collaborators who are known for their work in real life, like once again the stylist and the hair and makeup and such, to come in and lend their creative ideas to the project without actually putting a hand to the model. So that all is handled by whatever tech nerds handle that shit. And that's another thing about the fucking nerds continuing to try to capitalize on fashion, because it's like y'all are not fashion people and it shows. And you can tell there are so many like fashion platforms and fashion companies that are being built by people that aren't really ingrained in fashion or understand the system as much as they are trying to get paid by something that they see as a lucrative business. What's that, Auntie? Because I wonder if the AI model is able to do shit the real model can do. Then doesn't the real model become obsolete? Hello? 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 Like wanting Alekwek to do a backflip ain't happening, but her AI bot can. Babe, wanting Alec Weck to shoot a print campaign on her period, wanting her to do something after her mom just died, wanting her to do something after she had a period and her mom just died back to back, and so suddenly Shorty need a week off. These are real life things that happen to people. You know what I mean? It is real life stuff, and it makes all the sense on paper why this is so useful, and why this could be such a breakthrough moment for the money getters, for the companies, more so than the models even. I mean, I understand for the models as well, but this is the thing about that though, is that we are having this part of the conversation trusting in the good faith of the players involved. Sorry, I'm just getting a little more comfortable. I got my sweats on. We are trusting in the good faith of the players involved. And if you work in fashion, if you a nigga getting money, you know that that is a big, 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 big no-no. I don't trust tech niggas. What? Like, think about it. Think about it. Cause here's a good example. Cause like at the end of the day, this AI model is not a person. It's not a person. It is a product. It's still a digital product made off of somebody's likeness. Now, in a perfect, I don't even know if perfect is the sense, but in a more ideal world, right? How this would work, excuse me, is exactly how they're saying it. Where it's like, hey, we want you, Naomi, to walk and do this and pose over here, and we need you to be at this show, but we also need you at this show. And it's like, okay, well, now we can make that happen because we can split her up between her in real life, like actual self, and then, the AI rendering. But think about the fact that, like, which models are going to get this opportunity even? Like, this stuff is not cheap. So it's not like every model is going to have the opportunity to do this right away. No, 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 no. They're going to extend it to models that they think will be lucrative. So I don't even know where that could go, but even that just rubs me the wrong way, because they don't have anything figured out. That's why I'm so like, it could be nothing. It could be me totally bringing up something that's a non-factor, but they have no idea what they're going to do when they arrive to that point. And also, once again, digital product, a product available in the digital space, something that is going to be exchanged in a transaction of some sort. Okay, product, digital. You know how like Amazon will do that thing where, like, if you're a company and say you sell teddy bears, and you sell a teddy bear with like a light up nose, and no one really is doing the light up nose on the teddy bear like you doing the light up nose on the teddy bear, right? And you put your shit on the Amazon. Everybody's on the Amazon. Oh my god, what? Light up teddy bear, that's fly. Let me get one. Let me get two. Let me get a box. Oh, sis, have you seen this? Oh, Valentine's Day. Oh, birthday, graduation. Oh, y'all got to get you the teddy bear. Oh, light up teddy bear, light up nose teddy bear is popping. Okay, popping, 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 popping. And the seller is going on there, checking their numbers. They're so thankful to have a little Amazon storefront that does all the work for you, pulls up all your analytics for you, lets you know how the sales are going, because that one thing that you made, everybody's got to have it. And Amazon understands that, so they're going to do what they can do on the algorithm as well, and take the ad payments that you go ahead and submit, all of those things to promote that product. But remember how, like, you're looking at your sales that Amazon pulled up and you're like, oh my God, my product is the shit. It's selling so well. And you know how, like, Amazon is also looking at the numbers that they pulled up for you, and they're like, wow, your light up nose is doing, your light up teddy bear is doing so well. Everybody wants that one thing, unique, very that. And then they turn around and start selling teddy bears, Amazon branded teddy bears, because they realize that it's doing really well on their market. Because don't forget, this is Amazon's domain, this is their workspace. So if they decide they want to carry you on their site, they can do that. If they decide they want to drop you from their site, they can do that. If they decide they want to sell something similar to yours and work around the copyright infringement of it all, the legal eagle, fine print of it all, or like a Forever 21, God rest her soul, or so many other brands, you so damn broke, they're gonna do exactly what they're, what's against the law, take the fine or whatever. And when you decide to start pressing charges and your broke ass can't last with the lawyer fees, and they can, and they make you settle it outside of court for a lot less, and they continue to go ahead and do what they do. Now, let's just imagine there's a digital model that's on the models.com list. She's like top 10 models, or not necessarily just a digital model, but a model. Let's bring it back to like Naomi. And let's like, I'm just saying Naomi just as a model, and I'm always going to choose Naomi because it's Naomi, whatever. Now, Naomi gets on there, or maybe not just Naomi. They do the metrics, they're looking at the numbers, and they're noticing all these models from this one country with this feature, or that operate this way on the internet, or that do such and such and such, that interact, that communicate, that speak like this. They notice that model is the one that seems to be the most marketable, and that's pushing product, and that is generating media impressions. What's to stop some little nerdy ass tech boy or tech person from now recreating and making their own model that is a sublimation of all these things that the public has been pining for? And why wouldn't you think that is the next direction for things to go, when they are trying really hard to convince people to enjoy AI models? And the main thing is, like I said, it causes a general sense of discomfort. And that is the reason why AI in that specific sphere has not taken over the way that they would like it to. Because people, let's even get into that. And I think you had one more question. Oh yeah, we already talked about the hairstylists and preparing mood boards and blah 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 blah. But let's talk about it, because the whole debate around AI models specifically, in AI specifically in fashion and for fashion models, like it's a lot to think about from a few different angles, right? There's the legal part of it, there's the ethical part of it, and I think it's just like a mix of the technicalities and also just the feelings of people around the thing. So it's a lot of complexities around getting AI models into the thing. And I think the only reason that they are having such a tough time is similar to what the deal is with like the Oculus and the visors and that whole AR reality, augmented reality that they've been trying to sell to us for a long time, and that was picking up some steam, but never really made it into every household, which is what is really necessary for a proper takeover of these kinds of tech. The public at large has to really implement and adopt this technology so that it can actually be, updated and properly modified to integrate into people's daily lives, or at the very least, so that it can complete the goal that its developers set out more efficiently. And so what I'm saying is, I feel like because the technology has taken a minute to get to the point where people are tricked and can't tell, is that a model or is that not a model? I think that's also part of the reason why this conversation has continued to drag on so long, because they haven't been able to trick people. I think if they were able to get people convinced out the get that so many of these models and these AI projects are in fact digitally rendered and not real, I think they would have convinced a lot more people a lot faster. But it just looked janky from the jump. We've watched the evolution of the thing, and it didn't make it. It didn't. I don't think it made the general public any more comfortable with the idea of an AI model. And then there's this other part of it that is just ingrained in the conversation, and it's this idea of the ethics of it. You as a human being, um, and this idea of your essence, right? Your spirit, excuse me, being mass marketed or being manipulated, or being falsified even. And I think that's something that's like the general mood or the taste in the mouths of people that makes them uncomfortable with the whole thing. Um, and it's different because, one of the first things I thought about was the conversations in the past couple of years when it came to the film industry, and how, like, over there, they're really trying to get those contracts together where they are basically able to get uh actors to sign away their likenesses so that their voice, their image, their everything can be replicated for whatever project, and that's it. And I think there's a difference because, like, there's been, I think, a slower adoption to it in film. And I think there's been a lot more backlash. And even though there is backlash in fashion, I feel like they've gotten a lot more headway with the AI tricks, a lot more visibly and publicly too. Like, you think about the digital fashion and all of that. I think they've gotten away with it just because, like, fashion is also about the glamour and the tech of it all. And also when it comes to those individuals, actors are known for their acting. And I feel like, and I say that to say, like, I absolutely think that there are some more archaic concepts of a fashion model that are still residing in people's minds that come into play. Because, more so the idea of, like, an actor being someone who projects their personality and their own, self, their own essence into the work that they do. And so, like, for example, like Robin Williams, there's not going to be another Robin Williams. And I feel like everyone can kind of agree on that for several reasons. And just the characteristics of his performance are what make that a thing. But I do think that when you compare that to Naomi Campbell on the runway, I don't think that people value a catwalk or modeling, technical modeling expertise as much as they do acting. I don't think that they see those kind of things on the same level. I don't think they see those kind of talents on the same level, being able to be a fashion model and being able to be an actor. So I think that that's also part of why the conversation is not as fiery for the models as it is for actors. Not to mention, of course, like, when in the film industry, when they were dealing with these crazy rules that were being set, they had the power of unions. They had SAG-AFTRA. They had all these other organizations fighting and advocating on their behalf loudly. Everybody protesting. Everyone up in arms. And as y'all know, as fashion people, because there's only fashion people in this live right fucking now, as far as I know. As far as models standing up for their rights, it's not like it's an uncommon thing, but it definitely does not compare. I think the force is not as solid and as steely as it is on the film side when it comes to actors defending themselves and individual actors being represented and defended. I feel like it's not saying that it's like super like easy sailing for an actor that's just trying to make it, or a top billing actor, but for models there's nothing. There is damn near no protection whatsoever. Like, you hurt your ankle, you're out, girl. Can't nobody shoot you from up top. Like, unless you're doing print modeling, maybe. But even still, it's like you never know. No one wants to work with a model where you're paying your money and you can only do so much. And I'm just keeping it a buck. You know what I mean? Like nobody wants a model where it's like, okay, well, we can't tell you to jump now. We can't tell you to walk around now. We can't tell you to whatever, whatever, because now it's going to change. You know, you're coming to us with not what we were expecting or hoping for with you getting in there, kind of thing. Like why need anything when we can just make it? Literally, and that's where it goes. And that's where it goes with tech people. And that's what I need people to remember. This is not just fashion people who are all about fashion working behind these computers. These are some random ass nerds in Silicon Valley that don't know the first thing about getting dressed, getting fly, Gucci versus Prada, none of that. All they know is that it's a fun tool for them to try out. And you know how the science folks are as far as ethics and things like that at large. It's for the birds. I had some other points on it. Let's see. Um so H&M is betting I'm reading some more quotes from the article. H&M is betting digital dupes of real models such as Slowberg. I don't remember. They're talking about the first model that they replicated, which I believe her name was Valerie Slowberg or Soberg. How, H&M is betting digital dupes of real models such as Sjoberg will answer one of the thorniest questions facing fashion in the age of artificial intelligence. How do you take advantage of generative AI's power to create realistic imagery while protecting the jobs and rights of the human models in the industry? Oh, how long ass question. How do you take advantage of generative AI's power to create realistic imagery while protecting the jobs and rights of the human models that the industry has long depended on to sell its fantasies? They stop depending on the humans. Like stop acting like everybody's just gonna be by the book and do the thing that they're supposed to do morally. Um this is a quote from I believe this is the CEO of H&M saying, "We saw that as a way as a big player in the industry to lead a conversation that takes the model, the agency and the best interest of the fashion the best interest of the fashion industry into consideration." Now, the problem with the model, the agency, and the best interest of the fashion industry, these three things being taken into consideration on what on the conditions around the model being replicated, because the agent's not being replicated and H&M's not, well, they're replicating their product, but they're already sold on that. They could care less. That's already happening. But the issue with that to me is between the agents, the model, and H&M, there is only one party here. There is only one party here out of all of them that is really obligated to be responsible for taking care of the model, and that is the model. Agents at the end of the day got to get paid. Yes, I don't think that every model agent is like one big huge piece of shit, evil villain, whatever. But if they're not doing the job that the agency wants to see done, they don't have a job. Like it is the agency over the model at the end of the day. H&M obviously, like, this is, this is them trying to cut costs and make it cute for them so they could care less. The model is the only one that's really, like, once again having to advocate for themselves. Like, I don't know. I don't know. But just because I just don't think this was a responsible idea on the part of the agents as well, if they really are concerned about the well-being of their clients. You don't know where this could go. You don't know where this could go. You don't know how far this can lead. You don't know what issues these models could be going through. And once again, not for nothing, like, not every agent has been an angel or a godmother to their client, to their talent. Mm-mm-mm. I just don't see this being a good look. Um, let's see if I have some more. So H&M thinks by being upfront about its use of AI and involving different stakeholders in the process, it can use AI models in a way that doesn't alienate them or consumers. And I'm just like, girl, are you dumb? Just because you're doing something that you're not supposed to be doing and you admit it and you're loud and wrong doesn't mean that people suddenly have a newfound sense of respect for you. That's not how that goes. That's not how that fucking goes ever, 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 ever. It's the equivalent of like a dude trying to tell you like he cheated on you before he knows you're about to find out. Like you get no cool points. You get no cool points. Like yes, you were honest and honestly fuck you. Like you know what I mean? Like girl, that shit don't that don't make me feel no better. Um Anderson, who's the CEO of H&M, said the company worked directly with models and agents on its plan. Sjoberg, I really hope I'm pronouncing this person's name right. Sjoberg, the first model H&M digitized, admitted she had been thinking a lot about the effect AI might have on her career. And then it's like there's these moments of this, like, okay, you're mentioning that the girl is apprehensive, not really sure the ramifications of this, the consequences on her career, and it's just like, but moving on anyway, and it's like, yeah, because y'all don't fucking know. So you're mentioning that there's all of these unanswered questions, there's all of this worry, there's all of this apprehension, and also saying that none of that concern is enough to stop you because it just has to be done because it's just gonna happen anyway. You know how long it took for Chanel to to even really start selling shit on their website, or any of these brands to really work on the digital? You know how many brands still are not accessible online? How many brands you really cannot get a majority or all of their products online? Like y'all can gatekeep digital shit when you want to. If you're not seeing it for the tech, them old heads will go ahead with it. I don't understand why all of a sudden this is the part where it's like, um, it's gonna happen anyway, so we might as well just like embrace it. It's like, or you can continue to be the stuck up bitches that we know you to be and remind people that they are nasty, nasty people, for trying to clone people and basically enslave their likeness. Let's continue. But the company also acknowledges that it doesn't have all the answers and needs to figure out details about how this approach will work. It doesn't know all the impacts using digital twins will have on models, not to mention the other workers whose livelihoods could be upended. Photographers, makeup artists, hairstylists, wardrobe stylists, and others, like we said, if more fashion imagery is made by prompting an AI tool. But I mean, babe, think about it. How could this realistically work in a way that's going to be consistent? Because once it becomes about cutting costs, because ain't H&M the one that is like 53% down in the first quarter? Am I lying about that? I'm pulling it up. Yeah. H&M quarter one net profit fell 53%. And now they're introducing this. I don't know. I don't know about this one, folks. Um, and once again, as people start trying to cut costs, who's to say they're going to be like, oh, we loved hiring your model, Miss Sjoberg, but now, and also, if you haven't read, the idea is that these models will be generated by H&M. For the models will be able to have these digital twins booked on their terms, so they decide when the model works or not. So like I said, they're still involved in the conversation like a model normally would be when taking on a job. And also they said that the thing is that they will make it so that the digital twin could work not just for H&M but for other brands if needed. So the model is able to basically be casted for other brands. The digital twin can be casted for other brands that also are using AI models. Now, I mean, That's messy as fuck because H&M, you have no idea. There is no system in place. There is no solid structure in place across the industry for AI models to be implemented in this kind of work. So this is basically going to be a different contract every single time, if it is one at all. And who knows if other entities want to follow by these rules? What do you do? And then what do you do if another brand is like, yo, this Silver girl, she's getting booked out the ass, but we don't want to pay the digital twin prices for Shorty. Make us a little Sjoberg, little dupe, make her just slightly a little bit different, and we'll put that together. Once again, the tech is moving a lot faster than the humans are, than the law is. I don't think it's going to be a whole different day and age when, like, at a young age, you have to consider your digital likeness and how that is being represented, how it's being owned, how it's being commanded. Like, that's a thing that we have to think about now. Like, we have to think about our digital selves. And there's still so much murkiness, but there's still so much moving that I think, like, it almost sounds crazy to think about, but it's real life happening. Like, if we're not careful, like, who's to say we'll be in the contract to talk about our likeness? Or what do we do when they start replicating other people for those too? What do you do then? And then once again, this is speaking as if technology or the digital space is the most loyal and the most moralistic, because what do you do when somebody wants to hack into that? What do you do when people are starting to hack these models or hack this system, this operation, to do things that they're not supposed to do? Suddenly, Miss Yoberg, you're on the cover of whatever sleazy magazine, posed up, with your ass out, and that wasn't your plan. I'm just saying, we see how technology can get crazy. The deep fakes are out of control. And that as well, like the deep fake culture kind of coming back, like swinging back around with a vengeance. Like, I just feel like it's just too much. It's just too much. Yes, it's possible. Yes, we can do it, but should we? It's definitely one of those for me. And I'm not opposed to the idea on paper, except for when you consider the very real risks that human beings face with this. And them being so lighthearted about touching on that, I feel, and being so casual in spaces where this stuff is actually very terrifying, legitimately terrifying. It just feels like one big gaslighting campaign to me, and I'm not with it. And I hope, for the sake of the models, that their agents are really not, so greedy that they will ignore, the real life risks that their model talent is facing. And think about, even like, you have to, like, the thing is, like, when you introduce new technology into a system, right? With that update, with that evolution, with that recalibrating, you have to now inject that thing. You have to inject that new technology into every facet of the operation. So now, when we talk about anything that models face or anything about the model industry, you really do have to talk about that along with AI, excuse me, and considering how that can impact things. When you think about the fact that models are already dealing with unfair treatment, being underpaid, being mistreated, being having receiving these really out of control contracts that lock them in and basically, force them to figure out a way to work in order to pay somebody else off, let alone pay for themselves to eat. Um, when you think about them sourcing models or casting models from places that are poverty stricken, especially places where the models, like, for example, in Africa, where models do possess a distinct look, and so they are milked literally for their likeness and then thrown to the wayside. And that is why I'm like, y'all are moving way too fast. And we not ready for this kind of thing yet. I don't know if we ever will be, just because y'all, you just can't trust niggas, man. Y'all already doing the humans dirty. You think you got the chops to start doing some next shit and creating a digital doppelganger? It's giving like when the people are talking about setting up spaces on Mars for us to live. Babe, we're struggling here. The humans don't know how to act with the humans here on Earth. Before we start talking about intergalactic like sustenance and things like that, let's get shit right the fuck over here, because people are still begging just to not get killed for walking outside and being who they are. And we can't seem to get that right. We can't even seem to all agree that that's a thing, you know? So maybe we want to, start with problem 1 in the textbook. Start with chapter 1 before we start, you know, getting a little bit more advanced, adding a little turbo on the thing. Like, we ain't there yet. Y'all do not know how to treat the real models that already exist. There are still so many issues with the ways that y'all hire models that are like things that that AI modeling will not fix. If anything, certain things it'll make it a lot worse, because you'll just be like, fuck you, girl. I'ma just reboot this motherfucker and have somebody in front of a camera or appear to be in front of a camera in zero point 0.5. We don't need you. And she's cheaper. Because also think about it. Once again, like, it's just not logical. Because in order to reproduce a model, you first have to you first have to gather information on that in real life model. So you have to do a scan. You have to do, like they said in the article, they recorded and scanned the model from multiple angles and different types of motion to recreate basically their look and the way that they present themselves as accurately as possible. But you got it. That's I'm not a tech whiz, so I know somebody's gonna jump in. Well, actually, but to me, non-tech guy reading the thing, I understand 2 different parts of this process. I understand the gathering the information, and then I understand the plugging in the information. Maybe that's the step in between. And then I understand the rendering of the digital doppelganger, the digital twin, using this information that they gathered from the real life model. Now, what about, like a techie person that's all about math and adding and subtracting, right? If gathering the model's information plus channeling the model's information into somewhere else, which both require money and energy and labor to do, equals digital twin, but I can also get a digital model by not scanning a real life person, or scanning a bunch of different people, or working off of past scans. Like, see, in that space, it gets so murky. Once you decide you want to cut corners, there are so many ways you can go. If we decide we want to steal scans from someone else, if you decide we want to, once again, one of the big issues in the digital space, especially when it comes to testing things, is that they use a lot of materials that are copyright protected and that they're not legally allowed to use as fodder for their technology that they're building. They go ahead and do that anyway. It is already a thing. It certainly is already a thing. I'm talking about the systematic implementation of it, like making this like an actual, like, there is no, to my understanding, there is no one space that every brand can go to and get that one model, and at least not one that they would all be likely to sync on. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying the technology isn't there. Of course, we've seen examples of it for sure, but I don't think that it's connected all the way yet. And that's what we're waiting for, and that's what they're working towards, And that's part of the reason that there's still pushback that they're facing. They haven't been able to perfect it just yet, and they're just hoping that people will hold on. All these little fun apps where we download our images for AI to create montages, you feed the data. Yeah, that's why I don't do those. That's why I don't download those things for the most part, or I don't keep them on my phone. It's not for me. It's not for me. I mean, aside from an IG filter, I mean, in that case, you got me. I'm got. Right. I mean, there's a lot of things that can be done. That's what I'm saying. It can be done, but should it be done? There's a lot of things that are not being done because people have these ethical apprehensions or they're worried about other people's ethical apprehensions. Like L'Oreal was even saying how, like, they've had plans when it comes to AI and they've been using AI for years to augment and edit their images, but there's a hard, hands off when it comes to um AI rendering models and editing them in some way. So yeah, I'm just like, this is like the real warning shot that it's about things are about to spin out of control real fast, I feel like. And the girls better have a contract on a contract on a contract on a contract every step of the way. I don't know, y'all. I'm not with it. I'm not a fan. Mm-mm-mm. Well, anyway, child, we'll see where it goes. That was pretty much all I wanted to talk about today, and all we have time for on the Young Flare Live for this good 1 hour. Thank you all for tuning into the Young Flare Live space. I'm Young Flare, and we've been live. It's been great. I'll be back on Tuesday. Shout out to me. Same time, same place. I've been on it for at least the past 3 weeks. I'm pretty sure I've been just about on time for at least the past 3 weeks. I'm pretty sure. So shout out to that. But anyway, I'll be back on Tuesday. Um, and look out for the next month. Of course, like I was saying before, I'm really looking forward to that with y'all. We will be slowing things down and taking a look back at the past fashion month finally. And now that the dust is settled and everybody got their little hot takes out, let's really crack this thing the fuck open. You know what I mean? And I'll be doing a little bit of a deep dive into some of the collections and also some of the fashion business of it all on the back end. So stay tuned for that. Um, and if there are any specific shows you want me to talk about in that to revisit, go ahead and DM me and let me know because I definitely want to make sure I want to talk about the highlights. Excuse me. Anyway, I'm gonna see y'all later. Thank you so much again. Y'all have a good night. Enjoy your weekend as well. And I will catch you on the IG. The TikTok is all Young Fleur. You already knew. And I'll see you again soon. All right. Bye, y'all.